Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Catch Up with Mayo, Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern. I try to do these pretty much around the same time, at least Saturdays. And who knows if one day that will change. I'm always changing things. And believe me, I've got some more of that to talk about with regard to my channels because I'm always changing. Never satisfied, always exploring, always experimenting, always trying to figure out what works best. What doesn't work? Yeah, so we'll get to that a little bit later on if I recall, and if maybe somebody brings it up. Yes, the first thing we want to address is the cold, okay? Although it says 12 degrees here on my computer screen, it feels more like minus 12. It's a cold day. It's cold in the apartment. So Gary says, hello, Joe. Brr, it's cold, too cold. I couldn't even do my daily walk today. Well, I got my walk in today. I went to the mall and I walked indoors. But, I usually walk indoors. But, I managed to get my steps in. But it's really cold. In fact, I'm wearing like a sweat jacket, over here. I usually wear a T-shirt in the apartment. But it's, I don't know. It must be something with the outside temperature because I've got the temperature set to about 79, 8 or 80 degrees. It's pretty high set. But on the actual meter of where it is in the apartment, it's like 70. I got it set to near 80, but it's 70 in here. And I don't know if that has to do with fighting the elements of drafts and things that are somehow getting in. I mean, I'm not going to die without wearing this. It's not like that. But, yeah. Hello, Ramoga. What's the good word? Good afternoon to you. And Harold, good afternoon to you. And may I also say hello to Joseph Mantadeo. I've got a hot cup of tea here. And I've got it in a different cup. I found this in the cabinet. I guess we got new cups that we never had before. I never saw these. So, how sweet it is. I say how sweet it is. It's not sweet. It's bland. It's tea, black tea with a little bit of milk. No, nothing sweet. But I like the Jackie Gleason thing. How sweet it is. So that's what I do. Okay. I decided to get the Man on the Run orange vinyl and CD from Amazon. I also pre-ordered the orange vinyl for Man on the Run. I haven't gotten the CD yet. I haven't ordered the CD yet. But I have the orange vinyl ordered. We'll see how that goes. Pre-ordered. Hello, George. What's going on? It's George Smith. I remember you, George. Very good. Stay warm with the tea. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. As I say, it's not deadly cold in here. I'm still not sure about getting this soundtrack, nor am I. And I'll be honest with you. It's because the cover is so cool. I think it's a great package. The cover's cool, and it's got a cool poster in it. That's the main reason. I mean, I have, all the music elsewhere, So there you go. I might get the CD. Maybe. Who knows? A bit chilly out there. Yes, Mr. Blood Vessel, it is. I can hear it too. I can hear the howling cold. By the way, I'm expecting my girlfriend to come home from work soon. She texted me that where she works, the water is not working. There's no water. So they say it's not safe to do that. It's a safety hazard, so they're going to send everybody home until Monday. Now, I guess maybe the pipes are frozen or something's going on there. She's going to be home anytime now. Okay, hello, Gloria Gomez. Now you say hell, whether it's hell or hello, I don't know. Either one fits. Hello fits, and hell kind of fits this world today. As far as I'm concerned, in this century that we're in, you know me, I hate the 21st century. I miss the 20th century. So there you go. Okay there, Jickbagger. 71.6 in Pasadena. Now, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I envy you. I envy you. That's pretty nice there. What do you think of the meditation mixes being released by Sean? Are they really essential? I don't think so. Maybe one LP version would do. I think it's overkill. I mean, I don't have there's 3 discs, and it's, as far as I know, it's only the one song, "Love," the song "Love" from John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. One song, 3 albums worth of meditation mixes. Quite honestly, I don't plan on getting it myself unless the Lennons just happen to send me a copy, because I'm not going to order it otherwise. You know. Okay, let's see. Arizona Mick. Oh man, Arizona sounds so good right now, except for Tucson doesn't sound good because of, I don't talk about too much news stuff, but the whole thing with Savannah Guthrie's mother, what the hell is going on with her being kidnapped? That's crazy, and they can't do anything about it yet. Okay, it's Hello Joe from Ohio. Hello, Ohio. I went back to Ohio. Remember that Pretenders song? 72 degrees in Vegas. Nice. I like how everybody rubs it in a little bit. But it's okay. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Okay, Christopher says, hello, I was born at the end of the 20th century, and I still miss it. There you go. There you go. Hello, Henry. Howdy to you. Hi, Lizzie. Lizzie says, long live the 20th century. You better believe it. You better believe it. You know, I don't care how I sound like an old curmudgeon or an old fart. I love the 20th century. I love the entertainment. It's basically talking about the entertainment, the lack of social media. Now, look, every time I say that, I have to realize and admit, here I am enjoying social media right now. Everything has its ups and downs, but there's a lot of bad things that go along with this, the way this is today. But anyway, we have some more tea while I think about it. All right. Yeah, I hope Lizzie and some other people who like movies and horror movies in particular will stay subscribed to my other channel. I say other channel, like I may have 3 again. I mean, this is insane. I admit it. I'm the first one to admit it. My other channel that I'm referring to this time is this one here, Mr. Cinemayo, movies, TV, and nostalgia, because I'm telling you, I'm going to be putting more movie stuff up there. You're going to see movie content up here on there. It's a little quiet right now, but it'll take off again. And the other channel, the third one that I have, the last time I was on here, I said I was going to maybe do away with it again. Now I'm thinking of keeping it again. Yes, I never make up my mind. That's true. There's reasons for it. There's reasons why I can't decide on whether to keep the retirement channel, as I call it, also the health and wellness channel, it's called, or, you know, it's a rant channel too. Right now it's still there, so why don't you subscribe? I'm going to flash it anyway. Go ahead. It's still there. It's Mayo Loves Mondays. So subscribe for rants, retirement thoughts, diet and wellness. You know, rant videos. If you like rant videos, and I know a lot of you out there tell me you like the rant videos, you know, although I have them here, I have even more of them over there. I kind of mix them up right now. So, yeah, there's 2 channels. I always say 2 other channels. I always say this is what I call the Mayo trifecta, Mayo trilogy. Me, Mr. Mayo, Mr. Cinemayo, and Mayo Loves Mondays. Now, of course, you know, people, I said I'm doing away with that channel. I never really did away with it. I just wasn't going to post anything new on it. Now I'm thinking that I may. And there's a reason for that. You know, there's reasons for that. Let's let's see. Here we go. Let me go out here. Back up here. Okay. Spring Hill Jim, greetings to you. And are you coming along with movie content? I know you were speaking of movie content. I hope you're going to put some movie content up. I saw you do some lobby card stuff that was interesting. Ever see the Roddy McDowell movie, It? Not in its entirety, believe it or not. To me, the 50s and 60s are Earth's golden age. For me, it's like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and I'll even go the 80s. Those are the best period, I think. Okay, I saw some of Borrowed Time, Lennon's last decade. It was a lot of talking heads and little Lennon content. That's why I'm in no hurry to see that. I haven't seen it yet. I pretty much know what to expect and not to expect. So I'm not really knocking myself out to catch it, you know? Okay, did you or anyone out there check out the first virtual fest on Zoom? No, did they have one? Are they having one? I'm a little mixed up. Oh, you mean back when they had it? I'm a little mixed up with that question. Have you seen the recent pics and on the set photos of the Beatles? Yeah, I have. I think what I agree with a lot of people. It's too early to say anything. The movie's not going to come out yet. The 4 movies are not going to come out yet. They're not coming out for 2 years or something. It's interesting to see the photographs. Also, the films. There's film footage of them filming the movie. You see them in what's supposed to, I think it's in London, but they're filming New York scenes in London, I think. And you see the Beatles circa 1964 or so getting in and out of the car with a bunch of screaming fans, and they're recording that, they're filming that. And at times I think it looks okay, and at times I think they look more like the Rolling Stones, you know. The actors, I don't know what it is. They look a little more like they could pass for like the Rolling Stones or the Animals or the Dave Clark Five. One of them looks like Alan Price from the Animals. But it remains to be seen what we're going to think of this. I'm not going to make any early judgments. I'm just saying how it strikes me so far, you know. Okay, I've listened to samples of the meditation mixes. They're okay, but too repetitive. You know, that's the thing. Do you need 6 album sides worth of one song, Love? I don't know. You know, I'm making it clear here that, as I say, if I get it as a gift, I will appreciate that. But I don't think I'd buy it on my own. I don't think. Oh, I just got a message. I don't like doing this in the middle of a live stream. Okay, just a message. Okay. Hello, George. Music for all 4 seasons. The king of 4 seasons. Frankie Valli in the 4 seasons. He's got a channel. Okay. Are you going to watch the Gorgon on Svengoolie tonight? No, I don't think I will. I've never really seen it. I actually own it, you know, with a lot of Hammer films with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. No, I don't think so for tonight. Mr. Ambrosi using his choice words is probably better on a smaller non-monetized channel for your sake. It's not about that. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Yeah, again, I don't know, folks. The last time I did the Joe and Danny show, which was only yesterday, 24 hours ago, give or take, a little over 24 hours, I said from now on, the Joe and Danny show is going to be here at Me, Mr. Mayo. Anybody listening, and tell your friends, check out the other channel. It may go back again next Friday to Mayo Loves Mondays. I'm also thinking of another title for that channel. I can't change the title just yet. I got to give it some time before I'm allowed to change it. It's just the way it works technically. But there's reasons why I'm trying to see what to do. 3 channels or 2 channels. I know how annoying it is. Like the way I look at it is, I don't like people having to hop around, go back and forth, get confused when I keep changing my mind. I apologize for that. I'm sure the good people out there will just put up with it. And I always feel, no offense, but anyone who doesn't stick around and unsubscribe says, I'm done with this, goodbye forever, you weren't worth having in the first place. That's my honest feeling about it. I know it's annoying. I wouldn't like it either. But there's just things I'm feeling out right now. So please, you know, subscribe again to Mayo Loves Mondays. The way I look at it is, as long as you're subscribed to all 3 of my channels, you won't miss any content, because whether I decide to post content over there or whether I do it here whether I do it at my movie channel, you won't miss anything. If it's a subject you don't like, you can just choose to ignore it. Obviously, that's fine. But I really don't know which way it's going to go, because I just got inspired again to do a retirement channel. And I call that third channel, I'm calling a retirement channel. Because I hope to bring people in who are retired. I hope that I will get some views and subscribers from people out there in the world who are retirees, in addition to my regular subscribers here. But it's not all retirement, even though retirement may be featured in the description and the channel. It's not all retirement. It's also, importantly, the rant videos. The rant videos, when I go into a new rant, something that pisses me off in this godforsaken world we live in today, that you can all relate to, I'm sure, because it all gets under our skins, all of us collectively. I'll do it over there at the Mayo Loves Mondays channel. And there's going to be stuff when I start talking again about health and wellness and all that stuff. That's also probably going to be over there. So because I can't make up my mind, the short of it is just subscribe to all three. Can't hurt. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost anything. Doesn't hurt. You'll see it pop up in your feed if I do a video on either three. If you want to see it, you see it. And if not, you don't. Mike Waljasper. Hello. Speaking of horror movies, have you seen Tourist Trap? Yes, I did. I saw it quite some time ago. I remember being a little disappointed. I thought it was going to be better than it was, but I'll see it again someday. Hello, James. Do you believe that the Beatles' vault is empty like Giles Martin has claimed, or do you think this happened because we're not getting enough stuff released from the camps? Well, I made a video about that. Watch the video if you haven't seen it. I made a video just a few videos back talking about that. It's not that Giles Martin is saying that the Beatles' vault is empty. It's not empty. He's saying that in his opinion, there's nothing really important in there, nothing really worth putting out. They've kind of done the best stuff. And that's what I don't agree with. That's all subjective. And I don't agree with him. And I know there's interesting stuff in there. How do I know? Because through the bootlegs, we've heard bootlegs over the decades. And there's a lot of interesting stuff that we know came out of the vaults illegitimately, that's still in the vaults legitimately, that they could put out officially. I know that there's stuff in there. Hello, Fleeman Pie Spain. I see the Wilburys are back on Apple Music. I didn't know about that. I don't think I do. With all the releases from the Harrison camp, I guess we're not getting a deluxe album treatment for the near future. I told you, I don't hide my disappointment about the Harrison camp from you people. It's very, very disappointing. They keep releasing the same George solo albums over and over again. They reissue them. Then they go to the Dark Horse label, put everything on Dark Horse again. They put the box out, whatever it was, the box. And, then they put the CDs out again. And now they're doing the Zoetrope, which I have no use for those. And they're putting the Zoetrope Harrison's out. And I hear they're going to put the whole series out. They have Wonderwall, right? They have Electronic Sound. They have All Things Must Pass, right? They have Living in the Material World. Now they're going to have Alpha Record Store Day, Dark Horse, and Extra Texture. And then I hear they're going to go on with 33 1/3. They're going to go on with self-titled George Harrison, and on and on and on. And I just personally want to see different stuff from George, stuff that we haven't heard before. They're also reissuing again the 1991 concert, live in Japan from George, and that's already been reissued. I don't know. Hello, Darren. Hello. Yes, indeed. I have the I Love Lucy right over there. Those are I Love Lucy DVDs right there. Right here. These are the I Love Lucy DVDs. Here. Yes, they are. The Fest is having these once a month on Zoom while they're taking hiatus. Okay. From the New York and Chicago Fest. I signed up for the one they're doing in April discussing the Fest in the 90s. Oh, okay. Well, check back here periodically. Let us know Let me know how it is, how they are, Opinion of Badfinger. Badfinger, I think, was very good. As good as they were. I really, there's only a few of the big songs that I really enjoy. I have a CD compilation of the best of Badfinger, well, about what I can say there. Watching the biopic actors, of course, it will always be hard to adjust. Most people complaining is because we are so used to seeing the real Beatles. Yeah, well, that's the thing. But whenever something is done well, if it's done well enough, you will be able to just let that slide. You won't even know you're not watching the real person. That's what happened with the Bob Dylan movie, the biopic that I really liked, No Direction Home. Timothy Chalamet, I never, at first I'm like, well, he's not really Bob, but I saw him like, that's not really Bob Dylan. But immediately I accepted him as Bob Dylan. It worked, the performance and everything. Favorite ABBA song? I like about 10 or so ABBA songs. My favorite one is Waterloo, and I have special, besides the fact that I like the song, I have special deep meaning for that because my deceased sister who passed away, my younger sister, that was her big song. She loved Dancing Queen. She bought all the singles when we were growing up. She was the one that bought a lot of different stuff. And she bought ABBA Dancing Queen, and she also bought Waterloo. And that was her favorite song. And every time I think of my sister, the other way around, whenever I hear Waterloo, I think of my sister. So, okay. In Lennon Naked, Andrew Scott did a good impression of Paul's voice. So that's another thing, too. You got to get the voices pretty good, too. They have very distinguishable looks, very unique voices, So there you go. Yeah, once you get used to them. Yeah. I know I've been saying no thanks a lot to this lately, Darren, but this is another day. I'm just not in a singing mood here. So sometimes if an act is really good, they can make you believe it's them, even without looking like them. For example, Chalamet as Dylan, I can't say the name, Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash. I thought Phoenix was a very good choice to play Johnny Cash. I think he looks a little like Johnny Cash. I think he looked at the part. Just as I never saw the movie The Doors, but I thought Val Kilmer looked a lot like Jim Morrison. Never saw the movie. Hello, Alan. It's 13 degrees, very windy here at the Jersey Shore House of Records. I ordered the Amazon exclusive vinyl of Paul's Man on the Run. Reminds me of your short from the other day. I get you. Hello, Beetle Babe. Okay, I'm glad Beetle Babe was able to make it here because I thought might be some kind of technical problems. The algorithm has changed drastically in the past 12 months, so everyone's in the same boat trying to figure out what works right now. Yeah, and I think that's how it is, and I don't mind chatting with you about this at all anytime. I don't get it, and I'm really pulling my hair out, and I have a lot of hair to pull out. About this thing, I know how annoying it is and how stupid it can be about me not making my mind up with these channels. Yesterday, I was very happy thinking I'm just going to keep Mean Mr. Mayo and the movie channel, and that's it. And then today I saw a video by a guy. Actually, he has a channel. He's a 72-year-old retired man. I'll tell you about it. 72-year-old retired man. His channel's name is Retirement Survival. And this guy with the channel Retirement Survival started the channel July the 4th of last year. It's 7 months old. He's got 95,000 subs now, and they're not bought. You can just tell when you watch the video, he's an older guy. He doesn't really know about all this stuff. He's just talking about his retirement thoughts. And one video caught on, and now he's got a legion of fans. And in 7 months, he's got 95,000 subs on that channel. Now, the topic being retirement, right? And he said when he started out back in July, only 7 months ago, and he only had 10 subscribers. And every video he did was like he couldn't even get 100 subscribers. It was under 100 subscribers. And one day he said a video clicked or whatever, and I guess it went viral. He didn't use the term viral, but I guess that's what it is. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 Then he went up to 10,000. He said he was monetized in a month. I mean, there are people out there that have been trying to get monetized for a couple of years, and they can't get monetized, right? So, hello, A Music. I question that the photos were on set. They seem to be costume, hair, and makeup test photos released for promotional purposes. I see what you mean. Okay, what is your opinion of electronically assembled duets? Duets created using, I can't see the rest of it. Actually, I don't care for that so much. I don't care for that. On the last live stream, I asked if you heard Are You Experienced? Yes, I have it. Have you heard the UK version? I've not heard the UK version. I have an original US vinyl copy. And I have CDs, the best of Jimi Hendrix. Okay, it's in my first time listening. So okay, thank you. I'd rather great actors who vaguely look like the real people versus people who look exactly like them but can't act to save their lives. If given the choice, I would agree with you. Given the choice, Giles Martin seemed to have missed What Goes On demo. Right, there's a What Goes On demo, and I heard the version of Misery, which I hadn't heard before. There's a early version of Misery from the female perspective, and I think it was said that the early version of Misery was written for Helen Shapiro originally. It's, instead of it being I'm the kind of guy who never used to cry, the way it was released originally, the version of demo of Misery is I'm the kind of girl who used to love the world, or something like that. Do you think you would have started a YouTube channel if the Beatles never existed? Yeah, why not? Because when I started this YouTube channel, me and Mr. Mayo, the reason I started this channel was for collecting records. And sure, Beatles records are my main interest in records, but there are other records too. But yeah, I definitely would. I mean, I have the movie channel, the movie channel that I have. That's nothing to do with the Beatles. That's all, movies. So yeah, I would have started something. It looks like the Wilburys are back on Spotify too. Yeah, all that stuff, I guess it's newsworthy, but I'm not really into that, because it's a good thing. Other people can hear them. No problem with them getting heard and liked and new fan base. But I don't like the whole idea in general where if they decide they want to take it off the menu and all of a sudden don't give you the option to have it, you won't have it. Okay. I hate how they ignore the rest of George's catalog. It's my favorite. I hear you. It gets my niece to listen to George, so I don't care. Okay. That's another thing about those movies, about the biopics. Regardless of what I think about them when they come out, if I like them or not, regardless of what you think about them, the main thing is I like the idea that it'll probably interest a lot of young people, newbies into the Beatles. You want the Beatles to keep on carrying on for new generations of fans. And that's something that I really hope it does. They do. Oh, I keep saying it like it's one movie. I hope they do, the 4 movies, the 4 films. I hope they accomplish that. And they're already creating a buzz. They're already creating a buzz out there 2 years ahead of time. So hopefully it'll do good, the project. I said project because I said it instead of they. Okay. Hello, Mason. What's the good word? Yeah, I see you fleshed out your question here from before. Yeah, no, I mean, if it sounds good, that's okay. I'm generally not really big on that. Now, I mean, it's kind of like what they kind of did with John Lennon, sort of, with the 3, Beatles tunes. They aren't doing this for you anymore, Joe. It's all about the young folks. Well, I know that, but I'm still going to give my honest opinion regardless, Buffalo Beetle, were you the one who said about, I'm not doing myself any favors, which I am aware of, making people hop around 3 channels back and forth and changing my mind all the time, because you'll love the fact that I'm thinking of going back to the 3 channels again. I prefer the Inner Light to Lady Madonna. Do you these days? Yes, these days I do. I would rather hear the Inner Light over Lady Madonna by far. Just a little tired of Lady Madonna. That's about it. Hello, Matthew Smith. What's your pick for the best 2 or 3 albums from 1990 to now? Oh, I'd have to really think about that. You mean you talk about non-Beatles related? Wow, I know I have some answers for this that are non-Beatles, but I'd really have to think about it. One of them, if you're talking non-Beatles, is Alanis Morissette, "Jagged Little Pill." That's one of them I know. Wow, there's probably a lot more for me than you would think. It's just that I can't really think of it now. That's one. I like Elle King also. I might pick the album "Shake the Spirit" from her, but I have to really think about it. Yeah, I saw Love and Mercy in the theater when it first came out. Yeah, you think it's the best music biopic ever made, aside from Walk Hard. I don't know the Beach Boys that well, so I don't know how good it was. I mean, I thought the actor, I forget his name, who played the younger version of Brian Wilson was good. I thought John Cusack as an older Brian wasn't the best casting, personally. No Direction Home was the Scorsese doc. Oh, you're right. Thank you for, yeah. No Direction Home, it was Scorsese. The one I meant was A Complete Unknown. Thank you very much. That's the Timothy Chalamet one. Is Man on the Run going to give a lot of coverage to McCartney's post-Wings era? As far as I understand, no. I think it only goes to 1980, but I think. Hey, Joe, I heard that Meryl Streep is going to play the part of Joni Mitchell in a biopic. What do you think? I think, first of all, Meryl Streep is a great actress. She's probably my favorite actress. I'm thinking she's too old to play Joni Mitchell right now at this particular phase of her life. What do you think? I think that A Complete Unknown would have had the title No Direction Home if that title wasn't already used. Maybe, but I think A Complete Unknown is a much better title, because it's like a star. He's unknown and then he becomes known. I think A Complete Unknown is a better title for the story of Bob Dylan. Okay, it took me 10 years to get monetized. That's nuts that he managed it in a month. And I know there's another woman who does a retirement channel, an older woman. She's 60. This other woman I know is 60. And she has done a channel for about a year, just a little over a year and 2 months. And she's almost got 100K subs. Okay, so I was pretty much giving up on all that. Like, the thing is, here I am. I have this main channel, and I've never really talked about it, and I don't really care. It's not about subscribers. It's about views. It's about the views. As long as you got good viewers and consistent people, fine. But when you've made a channel for as long as we have now, Beetle Babe, I know you've been doing this longer than I have even. And those of us who've been doing this longer, after a while, you just want to get 1,000 subs so you can be monetized. It takes 1,000 subs to get monetized. So that's why you want 1,000 subs. But then after that, I don't care so much anymore. Then you want to try to get 10,000 is like a big number, right? I've reached that, I'm up to 16K. But now I've been doing it for 14 years almost now, and you've been doing it longer than that. And I'm getting, it's like, the next thing I'm looking for is the 100K. And to be honest with you, on this channel, Mean Mr. Mayo, I don't think, you just do the math. I mean, if it took me, if it took me 14 years to get 16K, the chances that I'm gonna live long enough to get 100 are not likely, unless something changes here, which is one of the reasons why I was thinking of maybe bringing more topics over here on this channel. In addition to the main Beatles stuff, if I had health and wellness, dieting, retirement and have all these people, all these different groups together here, I thought maybe that would boost it up. But you don't know. It's a gamble. It's a gamble because there could be people that'll unsubscribe. If they don't see Beatles, I realize that's my so-called bread and butter over here, and I want to keep it that way. But I think I've reached a point where I realize I'm not gonna be exactly hitting the moon with just Beatles content, is what I'm trying to say. So I really don't know. Then there's always the possibility that a retirement channel done right, a retirement lifestyle, health and living, dealing with life channel, that could have the potential to reach that. So I really don't know. I'm still experimenting. I hope I made it as clear as I can. Hello, Elvin, Toronto. Yeah, I have no interest in the Michael Jackson biopic, to tell you the truth. I guess with the Michael Jackson film, I'll wait and hear how it is. If people say it's good, I'll see it. What celebrity death really shocked you in recent years? Rob Reiner really shocked me because of how graphic the nature of it was. Absolutely, I was shocked. Got to understand, I grew up with the sitcom All in the Family, and the Rob Reiner, aka Meathead, was part of my childhood, and I thought he was funny, and he worked really good with Carol O'Connor as Archie, and that's the main thing that it just shocks the hell out of you. Absolutely. You can find the new copy, the UK version of Are You Experienced at any record shop. Best part is it's on mono, source from the original master tapes, most likely being an analog source. Now, I think I'm pretty good when it comes to Hendrix. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good when it comes to Jimmy right now, but nothing wrong. I appreciate the information. Thoughts of instrumentals that become big hits. That's fine. One of the instrumentals I love is it Paul Morier, and is that how you pronounce it, and his orchestra. They do the song "Love Is Blue." I mean, that's an instrumental that I really like. Of all the portrayals of John Lennon, nothing for me comes as close as Ian Hart, and I agree with you on that. I agree with you. I think the best rendition of John Lennon was in the Backbeat film with Ian Hart. It was just announced that the Eagles' Greatest Hits album is the #1 top-selling album of all time at over 40 million. Hotel California is the third most. Are you an Eagles fan? Yes, I am. For some reason, these days, it's not cool to like the Eagles or something, or the Eagles suck, or something like that. The only thing that I can understand people putting down about the Eagles is they overplay them on the radio. Hotel California, which you mentioned, is way overplayed, man. So most of their hits. But I love the Eagles. And as far as it being the #1, I heard that before. They were saying they said it was the Eagles was the #1 album of all time. They said Thriller is the #1 album of all time. And then they say Slim Whitman outsold the Beatles, whoever Slim Whitman was, and then Drake beat the Beatles, and Mariah Carey, whatever. It's a mess. Okay, Joe, I'm a young guy and I appreciate new stuff way more than you, but one thing that I'm completely opposed to is all the AI garbage in the past 3 years. It's completely soulless, and it's only going to get worse, not better. I hate it. Music biopics usually use the same story structure, the one that Walk Hard and the Weird Al Yankovic story made fun of, so I don't get excited when a new biopic is released. I've not heard the Frank Sinatra CDs yet. Please don't ask me, because I buy a lot of things, a lot of movies, a lot of CDs, some books and things, and I do not just close the doors, lock the doors, and shut down my computer, shut down my YouTube account, and just listen to everything and just read everything and watch everything. And I have a lot to do. So I don't mean to come off like that, but what I'm trying to say. I always feel like when people are asking me, no, I haven't listened to yet. Sorry about that. Genuinely worried that in 5 or so years, we'll be getting exclusive AI commercials, AI movies, AI everything. Absolutely. It's already gotten to the point where you don't know what's real. I've seen photos of the Beatles, black and white photos that are not real. I've seen pictures of them hanging out with Frank Sinatra. They're not real. For example. It never happened. But the problem is, unless you've been around long enough like I have, and you know what's real and what's not, you're not going to know anymore. And I always say there's a danger of two things. Number one, you're going to think that stuff that's fake today is real. And then what happens is once that starts happening, you're going to start distrusting what's real. You're going to see a real photo of the Beatles with somebody. You're going to say, oh, that's AI. I've seen that. I've seen it like on Facebook. I've seen people see a real photo of John Lennon with somebody or something and say, oh, that's not real. That's probably AI. It's AI. It's fake. And people go, no, we've seen this before. This is a real photo. Who needs this? You can't trust your own eyes anymore. You can't believe what you see anymore. Make that a fourth. Unfortunately, George in the Mendez film looks more like Charles Manson. Yeah, George is a little off, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure I have a favorite Nirvana song. I have to, honest, off the hand, I can't think of what the songs are. I'm sure I like some if I know what they are. The guy playing George looks really good. It's early 64 George. Put it this way. From what the photos I've seen, I prefer him as 64 George, not so much 69 George. I wish George's camp would do a nice anniversary edition of Cloud 9 coming up next year. Well, I got to think that Cloud 9 is going to be one of the albums they're going to tackle. I don't know if they're strictly going to go in chronological order, but if they're having box sets out, I think a Cloud 9 box set would be really great. I would love to see that for next year. That would be a great thing for the anniversary. 40 years, huh? Wow. For the 40 years anniversary of Cloud 9, that would be nice to have a box set. Paul Dano is the one who played Brian Wilson, right? Why am I thinking that you guys got a delayed reaction? I feel like, that happens with these. I don't know if you have to refresh or whatever. From what I've heard from friends who've been super into the Beach Boys, they generally regarded Love and Mercy as pretty accurate. Okay. Sirius XM Beatles channel is getting boring. They don't really do deep cuts. It's always the same songs. Well, that's why I unsubscribed a long time ago. Right now, the car that I have now doesn't even take Sirius satellite radio. But nevertheless, yeah, I got tired of it. I mean, it made me really hate the Beatles. Not hate, it's a strong word, but I mean, I don't want to turn it on and hear the same songs over and over every day. Every day, I just wish they would spruce it up a little with more solo Beatle deep cuts. Okay, James Farley, hello to you. New subscriber since yesterday. Love your channel. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Okay. I'd love to see your review. To see you review Dylan's Street Legal. Are you a fan of Oh Mercy or Infidels? Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, Infidels. I never resist a chance to say is one of my favorite Dylan albums. It's one of the best listening experiences I ever had to a brand new album back in 1983 when it was fresh. I love Infidels. Oh Mercy, I remember being pretty good too, but I haven't heard that in a number of years. I like the Beach Boys. I genuinely don't understand the pedestal they always get put on. Yeah, I like the Beach Boys, especially the earliest stuff, but I think it's a little overblown, Whenever I binge the Beatles catalog, I treat the mono box set like the Rolling Stones mono set and include both the UK and some of the US albums. I recommend trying it. Very nicely done. 20 years a week from today. Apple or Parlophone, depends on the release. I'm usually a stickler for biopics being accurate, which I like too. But I like the Buddy Holly story, which I've never seen. I think it was very well done, even though virtually none of what was portrayed was true. Man, I don't know why they got to do that. Question, should we buy the soundtrack Man on the Run or pass on it? Well, that's a matter of personal opinion. I'm passing on a lot of things these days, believe it or not. I'm just getting older. I'm on a more limited income. I don't have as much space. I realize I'm not going to have enough time to enjoy it all with what years I have left. But having said that, the reason I got swayed to buying a copy of Man on the Run is because I like the packaging. I like the cover. It's nice, a nice looking presentation. It's got a cool poster, and it's more for that. The stuff on it is, I don't think the stuff on it is great. Joni Mitchell was at the Grammys looking many years older than Meryl Streep. Yeah, okay, but if you're gonna make a Joni Mitchell movie with Meryl Streep, are you gonna make Joni Mitchell like when she's older, or are you gonna show Joni Mitchell when she's young? You know what I'm saying. Joni Mitchell is a great talent. I haven't heard all Joni Mitchell stuff, but I know when I drove to Maine recently, my girlfriend played some Joni Mitchell, and the CD started getting locked up. We didn't have time to hear enough for me to judge. I know some of her popular songs. She also played me Tea for the Tillerman, Cat Stevens, which I liked. And of course, the song I really love is what is it, Wild World? Love that song. You're going to do anything special for your 64th birthday, aside from thanking God if I'm still here? I don't know. I don't think so, maybe. I don't know. Back to talking about the subscribers and things. True, but for each person you lose that way, you may gain more than you lose. Well, that's true, too. It's such a mess. I really don't know. Part of me likes the idea of having distinct different channels. One for music and Beatles, another one for movies and, autograph collecting and comic book collecting, and another one to talk about life and health and wellness and dealing with the world. If you put it all together, you can get more people over all walks of life, or maybe not. Penny Lane, what's going on, Penny Lane? I am, of course, a fan of both Mitchell and Streep. Gotcha. The fact it was his own flesh and blood was sad and scary that the guy had evil in his eyes. Yeah, you're talking about Nick Reiner. That guy was a nut job. You could tell just by looking at him. That guy had, craziness, crazy eyes. What do they call them? Sampaku eyes? Something like that. If I heard any Radiohead before, I didn't realize it's Radiohead. You know what I mean? The Nowhere Boy movie, I don't care for. I think that actor really was unconvincing as John. I always think he didn't really capture the angst and the problematic John. I just didn't think he seemed like John enough to me. I like the fact that they talked about his mother Julia, gave Julia a little more time in the movie. Other than that, Only sleeping, Kenny. How are you, Ken? The only person that I heard hate the Eagles was the dude from the Big Lebowski. Aside from him, I haven't heard any hate from anybody. Well, I always hear that people don't like the Eagles. That's all I can tell you. That I don't mean everybody doesn't like them, but I've heard a lot of people that don't like them. I know because I always say, "How could you not like the Eagles?" Ian Hart is best as John Lennon, followed by Robert Carlyle. Let us hope that Harris Dickinson can earn the bronze medal. Well, he's got to be a decent actor because he doesn't look like John enough for me. A great reason to not listen to the radio. Neil Young has over 50 albums out. They keep playing the same 3 songs. Is it because I'm an older Beatles fan, 61, that I'm not really excited about these biopics? Maybe. I think it's more for newbies and younger people, I think. I'm curious to see how they do. but I really don't care that much. Honestly, not that much. I agree. Hotel California is overplayed, as is Take It to the Limit, a song I don't particularly like at all. I do like Take It to the Limit, but it is overplayed. It's happening in other fandoms too, with people thinking real photos or music are AI. Have it happening in another one of mine right now. Yeah, it's it's like I don't want to say too much about it because if I do, then you're going to suddenly see it. I've had some fun with some of it a little bit. I mean, I haven't made AI. I know, Peter has made some AI things, and some of it's fun. Birth of the Beatles, a biopic, has a great Paul lookalike, and I enjoyed Stephen McKenna as John. I forgot about him. He wasn't bad as John. Stephen McKenna, I believed he was John Lennon. I could believe he was John Lennon in that. Cabin in the Woods, actually, it's funny because somebody burned me a copy of that, and then I think they got me, I think it was back Cabin in the Woods, or maybe it was the other movie, Wrong Turn, maybe I'm thinking. Anyway, I may have that. I never saw Cabin in the Woods, by the way. That's what I'm saying. Love the Eagles. I think the reason they get hate is because they're very overproduced, very commercial, no edge. I don't agree with all that, but okay. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this. The bio Beatles look more like the Ruddles. Do you listen to complete albums all the way through, or do you usually just listen to individual songs or parts of albums? It depends on the artist. It depends on the album. Generally speaking, I if I'm listening to an album, I kind of respect the album, the artist. I want to hear the whole album the way it was intended. For certain things, I may skip around and choose certain tracks. Amanda Seyfried is going to play Joni Mitchell in an upcoming biopic. If you've seen her do California, you know she'll be perfect. Okay, I don't know that, but I'll take your word for it. Kubrick tried to warn us about everything, including AI, with 2001: A Space Odyssey. The thing that bothers me most about it is that these people that do these things, they're being supported by people out there. Everybody's having fun with this. We're going to destroy ourselves. Mankind is going to destroy itself. Nobody else has to destroy. We're going to destroy ourselves. And that's what most of the futuristic science fiction films that used to look like just fairy tales, and things that may never happen, but we hope they hope they don't, are now becoming true. But most of them are about that, about us destroying ourselves. Okay, let's see. Should the early era Beatles have put cover versions as B-sides and less cover versions on the albums? I'm fine with the cover versions on the albums. They're great. They're great. They do cover versions great. My favorite early album of the Beatles is With the Beatles, and With the Beatles has a lot of covers on it. I love every one of them. I binge watched the entirety of The Sopranos a few months ago. What a fantastic show. Yeah, I watched recently within the last few years, the whole series, binged it the whole way. That's a project that I started and completed. And a lot of times, my girlfriend and I, we watched it. And I wanted to see more than one episode. After you watch one, you want to see another and another. Sometimes we watch 2 or 3 at a time. Revolver and Blonde on Blonde are better 1966 albums than Pet Sounds. Well, I happen to think so, but everybody's got their own opinions. I do like the song Both Sides Now. I guess I know Judy Collins' version of it, I'm guessing. I'm finally reading the Wings biography book. Hi, Tony. I was thinking of skipping that because I'm thinking of skipping a lot of books, but I saw a couple of reviews about it. I'm thinking maybe I'll get that Wings book after all. Paul was so angry after seeing the Buddy Holly story that he made the real Buddy Holly story. If you want to enjoy a Joni Mitchell album, you can't miss with Blue. I think it's her best. I don't know what it was that my girlfriend was playing. It might have been the best of Joni Mitchell or something. Hello, Elliot. What's the good word? Do you think the Beatles cartoons would have been better if Hanna-Barbera produced it instead of Al Brodak's? The animation would still be cheap, but the writing would probably have been better. Well, all I can say is the Beatles cartoons are probably the main reason I'm here today, because I grew up, I was like the age of like 4 and 5 when those were out, and I fell in love with the Beatles from the cartoons, so they worked on me. So I think the Beatles cartoons are fine. I really do. And I wish they'd find some way of putting them out again, even though I think there's a lot of PC reasons why they don't, and probably also to do with the Beatles not really liking them that much, or supposedly they didn't. I heard they didn't like the cartoons when they first were done, but then later I thought they had a better opinion as time went on. Let's see. I love that you introduce yourself, Elliot. Yeah, I know Elliot always does that, but the thing is, he didn't change his name. I still advise that you change your name in the handle, just so everybody else knows who you are. Lead singer of the Grateful Dead died recently. Forgot what his name was. Do you like any Grateful Dead? I've never really liked the Dead. However, the songs that I do like by the Dead, I could name easily. And the songs you might expect. I like Casey Jones. I like the song Shakedown Street. Touch of Grey I like. I like the song Sugaree. That's actually Jerry Garcia, I believe, by himself. Those kind of things. I like the commercial stuff, I guess, in that case. 74 watching and only 21 likes. Let's change that. Please hit the like button to help out the algorithm. When you hit the like button, it helps out. I appreciate that. I love the song Take It Easy by the Eagles. So do I. Lion Eyes is a song I'm tired of. I don't know why. A lot of the other Eagles songs I could still handle, but Lion Eyes, maybe because they're a little longer. But there was a time when I really enjoyed Lion Eyes in the 70s. But now I'm to the point where I've had enough. Yeah, I was thinking of making a video about Chuck Negron passing away, the lead singer to Three Dog Night. There were at least 7 songs that I counted that I like a lot by Three Dog Night, and I know there are others. Some say 1939 was the best year for films. What would be your favorite film year? I have an impossible time of narrowing a favorite film year down to one, just one. 1939 was a good year. I don't know. I also like 1968, 1971, Generally, I like movies from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and some 90s. But once you start getting into the 21st century, you lose me a lot. Although, if you look at my movie channel, please subscribe to my movie channel if you haven't. Once again, I'll put it up there just to remind you of the channel name. There are a lot of movies in the 90s and 21st century that I've actually reviewed and that I've talked about. So there you go. The Beatles cartoons, the reason I became a fan. There you go. Let's go up a little bit. Okay, what I like about Nowhere Boy is that it's the only movie where the Beatles look like 15-year-old kids. And the actor who played Paul McCartney in Nowhere Boy is pathetic. It's a terrible choice. Yeah, okay, I hear you. I read you. Thoughts on Neil Young? I like Neil Young. I like a good number of Neil Young songs. Yeah, I like a lot of Neil Young songs. I think, well, considering when I say a lot of Neil Young songs, for me, it's a good amount. Have you seen that new Mel Brooks documentary on HBO Max? No, I didn't know anything about it. I don't have HBO Max anyway, so. Which Free as a Bird and Real Love of those two is more Beatlesque? I think Real Love by far is more Beatley than Free as a Bird, I think. I think the Beatles do rock and roll music and Please Mr. Postman far better than the originals. I agree on those two. Although I love Chuck Berry. I love Chuck Berry's version of rock and roll music. I love Chuck Berry. And also, Please Mr. Postman by the Marvelettes is good too, but I like the Beatles version better. Beach Boys did the worst. Oh yeah, I agree with you. You know how I feel about that, right? Just let me hear some of that rock and roll, rock and roll, any old way you choose it. It's got a backbeat. You can. Does that sound rock and roll to you? Oy. Yeah, I like the Beatles cartoons myself. You want the real Beatles story? Watch the Ruddles movie. Yeah, it's a story that'll last a lunchtime, I think, right? So there you go. Okay. Let's go back here. Thoughts on Leon Russell? I don't really know a lot of Leon Russell. I know that for me, don't throw tomatoes at me, but when I watch the concert for Bangladesh, I can't stand the Leon Russell part. I like to watch Billy Preston. I like to watch Bob Dylan. Personally, I think Bob Dylan on Bangladesh stole the show. I think he was the best in it. Badfinger, all that stuff I could watch, but Leon Russell, I don't really care for it. Okay, I'm gonna go back up. Somehow, I never realized Casey Jones was a Grateful Dead song. There you go. You learn something new every day. Yeah, and there's your new thing for today. Let's see. It would have been interesting if the Beatles cartoon did episodes based off Sgt. Pepper songs. They did Strawberry Fields forever. They did Tomorrow Never Knows and some other psychedelic songs. I wasn't big on the Eagles in the 70s, but I love them now. Maybe their songs just take me right back to the 70s. Well, that's the beauty of music, isn't it? You know, we listen to something that takes us back to where we were. For those of us who weren't there at the time, not so. But yeah, the Eagles music, much like Elton John's music, the 70s of it anyway. Elton John's Eagles 70s stuff takes me back to being a kid in the 70s. Did I put this up before? Rock Band made me a fan. There's certain things, you know, the Beatle cartoons from the 60s made fans. The Red and Blue albums in the early 70s made people fans. Rock Band made fans. The Beatles anthology made Beatles fans, right? And on it goes. The One album in 2000, Beatles One hits album, made fans. Hopefully, the 4 Beatle biopics will make new fans. Yeah, I say my name because my tag is different. That's why I'm asking you. Change the tag. Unless you really want Appleman on there, I would advise you. It's very easy to do. Change your handle. Just go in and change it to Elliot Ween. Let's see. Buddy Holly would have turned 90 on September 7th. This would be an opportunity for even expanded and remastered the real Buddy Holly story. Terrible waste, Buddy Holly. Really, really sad. Well, same thing for Richie Valens and the Big Bopper, but Richie Valens and Buddy Holly, I think, had the most potential. I mean, Richie Valens, too. You know, sure. You know, he had some good stuff out already. But Buddy Holly was a real waste, real loss. Arthur Alexander, the original Anna, is way better than the Beatles, in my opinion. Arthur is underrated. I agree now. It's funny, you know. I never heard the Arthur Alexander version until fairly recently. And now that I have, as much as I enjoy the Beatles version of Anna, I like Arthur Alexander's a little better. I love Leon Russell, one of the greatest. Love Billy Preston's cover of My Sweet Lord at the concert for George. Very good, very good. That concert for George, it's sublime, the whole thing. A lot of people know Arthur Alexander's Anna thanks to Married with Children. Well, I hate Married with Children. Hate that show. However, I didn't realize that Arthur Alexander's Anna was on it. Remember how I said I only like 3 Elvis songs? Well, now it's 4. I really love Burning Love as well. Now, keep on listening to more of Elvis's hits, and you'll go up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, I think. Macca makes a comment about Fabian in the anthology. Do you know any Fabian stuff? Not off the top of my head, I don't. Was Mary Hopkin? Isn't it Hopkin without the S? I don't know. I get mixed up. Maybe it's Mary Hopkins. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think they're related. There you go. There you go. Concert for George, one of the best tribute concerts ever. Sam Brown was one of my favorite. Horse to the Water. Absolutely. Sam Brown does a great version of that song. It's a highlight of the concert. I could watch the concert for George over and over. Every year I watch it. It is out of everything that I own on like video, movies, documentaries, music. The one thing I can watch every year or twice a year and never get tired of is Concert for George. I have the same problem with the Eagles as I do with Phil Collins. Radio overplay. Yeah, Henry. It's crazy that Rob Reiner and his wife were deceased in Brentwood, same neighborhood with the O.J. Simpson thing. Yeah. Must be something about that area. Did I put this up before? I can't even remember. I'm Australian. I was in San Francisco during my first time in California. I heard Hotel California on the radio, and that is when I started to like the Eagles. Me too. I loved Hotel California when it was new. What happened? The problem is they've played it to death. Somewhere back in the library of my channel, I have a video that I enjoyed doing back then called the most overplayed radio songs. And I think that came out number 1. But I'm also going to put Rod Stewart's Maggie May right there. Maggie May, maybe, and Hotel California, the 2 most overplayed songs. The secret to downsizing but not missing out is to always sell more than you buy. It's still hard to do. By the way, speaking of collecting and buying, I'm going to have another installment up of my show. Check it out if you haven't seen the first one, called Collectors Anonymous. Collectors Anonymous is a show that I did, and I had a good response. It's about collecting, the addiction behind collecting. I'm going to do another show soon. I feel a concert for George was truly full of love. No big names for the sake of it. Only friends. The plot of Married with Children episode is that Al Bundy keeps hearing Anna, the song, but doesn't know what it's called. When he hears it, he just hears Go to Him and does a dance. Funny episode. Yellow Submarine and the Beatles' One album made me a fan. Yeah, Yellow Submarine is always big for people growing up. And of course, the Beatles' One album, as I mentioned before, brought a new people to the Beatles. I'm seeing Man on the Run this Friday at the Village East Cinema in New York City. Now, I could have went there, but I didn't feel like going all the way into the city. So Elliot's getting to see it pretty quick on the 13th. I won't be there. I'm going to see it on the 19th. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll let you know what I think after I see it on the 19th. I watched my DVD of the concert for George on the concert's anniversary. Same thing with the concert for Bangladesh. It's become a ritual of sorts. Hey, we all have those kinds of rituals. Enjoy. Do you remember where you were when you heard that George Harrison had died? No. Oddly, no. And the reason I say that is because, I remember just seeing on TV, I think it said George Harrison has died, I think. But with George Harrison, we were expecting it, sadly. We knew it was coming. So it wasn't a shock. And it was just like, okay, George has died. That's why it doesn't strike me as hard. It's very sad that we didn't have George around the 2000s anymore until now, just as we don't have John from 1980s till now. We man, everything that I do here and the people like me who have Beatle channels and love reporting on Beatles releases and talk about new albums and new things, new projects, can't, the mind boggles at how much stuff we missed out, how much we were robbed of, how much we were deprived of John being killed in 1980 and George dying of cancer in 2001. Yep. If Al Bundy was friends with a Beatles fan, he probably could have helped Al and pulled out a copy, either introducing the Beatles or the early Beatles, and played him the song. Well, they should have wrote that into the script. Whenever I see clips of the concert for George on YouTube, I'm blown away at how good the quality is. It looks like a concert from a few years ago, not 2001. When you get to be my age, Henry, the funny thing is, you think of 2001 is still like today. It's funny, like there's no difference to me between 2000 and today, really. 2002. Yeah, it's 2002 was the concert, right? How's it going with my move? Well, I'm happy to say it's not going anywhere yet, but I did hear news that one of the stumbling blocks in the way was that one of the people that was going to help us with the movie, waiting for her to retire, that she should be retiring this year. So the first step is for her to retire. That's as far as I can go with that. Seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan in '64 made me a fan, and that's the way to do it. Each new album was always highly anticipated. Well, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate, right? Jeff Golfer. Hello, Jeff. Love the channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying hello. Appreciate it. I think Concert for George was the perfect way to honor him. I would imagine when it comes time for Paul and Ringo, there will be some spectacular tributes. Sad to think about it, but it's reality. Yeah, I've been bracing myself for Paul and Ringo for many years now, at least 20 years. I've been bracing myself. I don't remember George's death announcement for some reason, but I do remember very well waking up to George's home invasion attack news. Yeah. That was terrible. I've been forgetting to drink my tea while it's still hot. Of course, it's no longer hot. All right, we're caught up. So anytime you do a live stream, you reach a point where it's kind of a lull, and it kind of peters out, and it's time to quit. But we'll leave it a little bit. Okay, it's kind of crazy that Yoko's still kicking. Isn't she like 94? She's going to be 63 this month. What is a typically unknown movie that is better than Omega Man? I love the Omega Man. I don't know if you're just saying, if you're asking me where is there a better movie, or are you saying you like the Omega Man? John's tribute concert was a lot of big names, but no depths. Yeah, that was a joke from what I remember. When you're a kid, you can never imagine being old, but when you are, you're physically old, not mentally old. I clearly remember living in the 1950s until now. Yeah. I Want to Hold Your Hand was a great film about fans trying to see the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. That's a fun film. It's a fun film. Not a great film, but a fun film. I did enjoy Ringo doing I Call Your Name. I like that. Yeah, I remember that. It was a video clip, I believe. It was sent in as a video, right? Of Ringo doing I Call Your Name. That's pretty good. Concert for George was a year after he died. It was released on DVD a year later than that, in 2003. I moved to London at that time, and the advertising was all over the underground during my first weeks there. Okay, Christmas fan club messages. I'm trying to think what that is. Just looking for. Oh, I see. You're looking for a suggestion for me. You made me an Omega Man fan. Well, did you see Soylent Green? Soylent Green's another Charlton Heston science fiction movie. I don't know which you like better. It's not quite as much fun as the Omega Man. Yeah, Bob Dylan's going to be a huge shocker when it happens. The guy is that iconic. Yeah, well, him too, Dylan too. I've been waiting for getting my mind braced for that too. Yeah, Ringo and Paul were not at the concert, but via video. I have absolutely zero interest in the Olympics, just as I have zero interest in football. When it comes to football, the only thing even remotely that I care about football is this clip.
Hey, are you ready for some football? Yes, it's Monday night. Let's go!
And that's all I want to see relating to football. Okay, how did I not know there was a version of Ringo doing I Call Your Name? I just looked it up. See this beautiful BB? Huh? Look at the things you've found in this live stream today. Oh, there is no way I'd see this. The new Dracula movies are reworking of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. Sounds terrible. I didn't like Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula either, mainly because they made it such a love story. Dracula is not a lover. He's not supposed to be a hero. He's not supposed to be a Harlequin romance Romeo subject. He's a bloodthirsty vampire villain. And although he did have a background where he was once a nobleman and all this, they overdo it, man. And this is at least the third or fourth time they're doing that, the whole love angle, the sexy love story Dracula. It's at least the fourth time. They did it with Frank Langella's Dracula in 1979, and Frank Langella was Dracula. They did it in 1973 when Jack Palance played Dracula, the romance angle, although that one was the best, I think, personally. And they did it, of course, with Bram Stoker's Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah, Walking on Thin Ice celebrates its 45th anniversary release date, February 6th, 1981, and it was John's last recording. Yeah. No Super Bowl for me ever. Looking forward to the World Cup this year. I love the World Cup every 4 years. And yes, the famous line is Keith Richards will probably outlive us all. Absolutely. What Traveling Wilburys album track would you recommend? There are many of them. But let's put it this way. If you said to me, I've never heard the Traveling Wilburys before, I want to hear one track, I'd say End of the Line. Only one track, I'd say End of the Line. Personally, I like a lot of them. And I like the second album, which does not have End of the Line on it. The second album, called Volume 3, funny enough. I like that better than the first album. Looking forward to Paul's new album. Oh, definitely. It's been a long wait. I just hope it's good. Keith Richards is circling around Dick Van Dyke, waiting to perform The Quickening. Remember Highlander? Then he'll live forever. Okay. Which is your favorite James Bond actor? I hate to be boring, but I'm going to go with Sean Connery. He's Bond. Even though I grew up with Roger Moore, the first Bond film I ever saw was in the theater, The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977. I love the movie. It's still one of my very favorite Bond movies. Sean Connery is my favorite Bond. Second favorite Bond is Roger Moore. Third one is Pierce Brosnan. And those are, the other ones I don't care so much about. Those are my three favorites. Believe it or not, I would probably put, boy, I'm getting old, man. Yeah. Wow. Daniel Craig, I'd actually maybe put after that. Hello, Walkman. Loved your to keep collecting as you get older video. I've slowed down more for the lack of room. Keep on collecting. Don't forget to watch my newest Collectors Anonymous live show. Be there. I'm gonna when we get the show ready, I'm gonna put an ad up telling you when the Collectors Anonymous show will be. You'll see it. I'll give you the date, and it'll be live. And hopefully you can all make it and comment like this in it. Joe always has great movie suggestions. I loved Hereditary and Get Out. Well, I have not seen Hereditary yet, but I did like Get Out. I heard Del Toro's new Frankenstein film was great. One of the best adaptations. Have you seen it for Frankenstein? I have not seen it. Same reason as being that I'm so much older, I've just had enough. I've seen 100 Frankenstein films and versions of the novel. I've had enough. I even recommend Waiting for the Light. I think you mean Heading for the Light, not to try to be one of those people correcting you. Heading for the Light. George Harris, it feels Beatley to me. It's, yeah. Where were you last night? I agree. End of the Line is my favorite. Many actors have portrayed Dracula, but Bela Lugosi was Dracula. I agree. I mean, I like Christopher Lee. He's my favorite, second favorite. No, I still haven't seen Hereditary. If my nephew's watching, I'm sorry. I gotta put it on a front burner. There you go. Every cigarette you smoke takes off 5 minutes of your life and is given to Keith Richards. Roger Moore was my favorite Bond, but Pierce Brosnan has quickly started to grow on me to a point where he might one day dethrone Roger. Pierce Brosnan is very underrated as Bond. Very underrated. He had it all. He had the looks. He had the comedic edge. He could do the comedy like Roger Moore. And when necessary, he could be tough like Sean Connery. He was a good mixture. Yeah, I haven't seen all of Born to Boogie, but I have watched the Ringo part. I always say Ringo's look in that film is my favorite Ringo look, my favorite Ringo appearance, at least as a solo artist. I don't remember exactly. I can't remember what the first movie I ever saw was when I was a kid. I don't remember what the first one was. I think we saw The Sound of Music in the theater. I mean, I know I saw The Sound of Music in the theater, but I don't remember it clearly, but a little bit. There's also a possibility that I saw Help in the theater, too. That's another thing. I have a memory of just the snow scenes with the skis. And those are some of the earliest ones that I have, I guess, Born to Boogie is one of the only Ringo movies left that I haven't seen. I'm still learning George's solo repertoire. It is Heading for the Light. Yes. And it is a good song. A Handle with Care is very good, too. Yes, indeed. Do you watch old Westerns? Not especially. It depends what the Western is and who's in it, really. I've seen some good ones. I like High Noon. I like The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. As far as old Westerns. I was never a Bewitched fan. I don't know why. I just never was into Bewitched. But I like I Dream of Jeannie better. Runaway was a cover by the Traveling Wilburys. Yeah, they do a version of Runaway, or Del Shannon's Runaway. I don't really remember liking the movie. I love the song Spies Like Us. I think Spies Like Us is criminally underrated. Sure, it doesn't have great lyrics. It's kind of silly. Hey, what do you say? But the thing I like about it is how it rocks. It's a rocking song with heavy guitar, and I love the way Paul wigs out in it. The movie Spies Like Us, I did see in a theater. Can't remember a damn thing about it. No, I haven't heard anything about the Werewolf movie by Robert Eggers. I've not heard anything about it. Oh, you're right. Runaway is another great Wilburys track. My dad loved the James Bond franchise. Unfortunately, he only lived up to the Pierce Brosnan era. He loved all the films. I was more into the soundtracks. Yes, I do have a lot of film soundtracks on vinyl. Yes, I do. Besides Sound of Music, is there any other musical film that you liked? Trying to think of strict musicals. I'm sure there must be, but what can't I think of them now? Singing in the Rain wasn't bad. Oh, I love She's My Baby. She's My Baby is great. I love Wilbury Twist. Connery is the best Bond. Second best is Craig. Roger Moore is one of my least favorites. I could never buy him as a dangerous assassin. Yeah, well, a lot of that, I guess, has to do with when you grow up. But actually, in all fairness, when I first saw James Bond, The Spy Who Loved Me, when I was 15, I had never seen a James Bond film before. I had nothing to compare it to. To me, Roger Moore was Bond. Greatest Western of all time, Blazing Saddles. That was one of the best comedies of all time. I'll give you that. Will you put in order your preference the first 4 UK British Beatles albums? Let's see. With the Beatles is my first favorite. Hard Day's Night is second. Please Please Me third, and Beatles for Sale fourth. Today, right now, at this moment. Okay, another thing to check. There's a lot of things to check out. I appreciate the advice, the suggestion, but there's so many things. But see, I am interested in seeing Sinners. I've heard that Sinners and Weapons are both good. If I could get copies of a copy of Sinners and Weapons, I'd probably try it. By the way, it's a good time to say I'm going to do my movie show. For those of you who don't know, most Monday nights I do a live show like this with Tom Hunyadi and or together or separate Tim Allen, the 3 of us or 2 of us. And it's a movie show. We discuss movies just like this. So that's over on my other channel. Should I put it up there again one more time? I think I will. I'll put it on there one more time. You could be there for the live movie discussion. And don't forget also, Mr. Cinemayo, I think one more time I'm going to put this up. Because again, as of the moment, I don't know whether this channel is going to stay and grow or whether I'm going to kind of like lay off it for a while. But for the time being, please subscribe here because the Danny shows will be here. There. Not here. There. Mayo loves Mondays again. Back and forth. You have to be on your toes here or you miss shows. Be on your toes or miss shows. That's a rhyme. Okay, Beatles for Sale #1. Very interesting. With the Beatles as last. I hate when people put With the Beatles last, but there you go. Yours is a very common opinion there. Will you travel to Beatles film locations in the future? Well, if I haven't done it in the past, I doubt I'm going to do it in the future. You never know. You get older, man. Time goes by, you get a little bit older, a little bit slower, as Revolution 9 states. Can't believe 25 years since George's passing. Yeah. Wuthering Heights coming out as competition for Man on the Run was originally going to be titled Frankenstein Meets Barbie. You would like Weapons a lot. Very suspenseful and whodunit film. So now I'll need to Amazon you a copy of Weapons too. Oh, come on. Sinners and Weapons. Didn't even know this is you. I keep forgetting who it is, man. I didn't know it was you. Ah, man. This, that, the other. Best comedy of all time and your best comedian of all time. My favorite stand-up comedian is Rodney Dangerfield. I tell you, it's not easy being me. I get no respect. You know, a hooker told me that she had a headache. Anyway, he's my favorite stand-up comedian. Favorite comedian of all time. It might be Oliver Hardy of Laurel and Hardy. Laurel and Hardy is my favorite comedy team. Probably my favorite comedy of all time. That's tough. It really is. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is one of my favorite comedies of all time. When it comes back to Laurel and Hardy, my favorite Laurel and Hardy comedy is called Sons of the Desert. My favorite Laurel and Hardy comedy. And when we get into the 90s, the movie My Cousin Vinny is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Joe Pesci. When the anthology was released in 95, Capitol reissued all the Beatles albums on vinyl. First 4 were in mono. They all have great sound. That's true. Oh, hi, Amy. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for saying hello. I appreciate it. It was amazing to see a new Anthony featured guy. Oh, yeah. Get a load of this. I'll tell you something. Yeah, you're talking about it was good to see a new Anthony video featuring a guy who curses a lot. Guess what? In a couple of weeks, we're supposed to get together with Mikey Arugula. The 3 of us are going to go together to see the guy who curses a lot. That's what we're supposed to do. So that might be another possibility of a decent video down the line. I was out front of George's childhood home in Liverpool in 2022, and there was no, what is that? Out front. As of your Friday night lineup, which two do you prefer? Brady Bunch or Partridge Family? I've always preferred the Brady Bunch. I mean, the Partridge Family, I like some of the songs, I guess, but Brady Bunch, I just grew up with it. I grew up with both of them, but I always liked the Brady Bunch better. Favorite Hitchcock film? I want to say The Birds, because I like horror. I like The Birds the best. Psycho, I like. I've seen a bunch of them, believe me. And I like the one, I always forget the name of it. I forgot it again. The Joseph Cotton, Shadow of a Doubt, I think it's called. Is that right? The Joseph Cotton one when he plays the uncle who's not what he seems. It's another one. Rope, the movie Rope is interesting. Rear Window. Thoughts on Lennon's Elastic Oz single called God Save Us. I do the Oz. I like both tracks. The God Save Us by the whatever it's called, the Elastic Oz Band, is a lot of fun. It's a good version. And Do the Oz is a really weird, it's an obscure track, head spinning track of John and Yoko singing Do the Oz over and over again and being weird. That's a lot of fun. So check it out. The past few years have been really good for horror and thriller genres. I got to agree. As much as I don't care for a lot of newer movies, the horror genre has really been kicking ass the last, 5-10 years. Yeah, my girlfriend loves George Carlin. Would you rather see Magical Mystery Tour or Yellow Submarine on a large cinema screen? I've seen them both on a large cinema screen. More or less, and I would always rather see Yellow Submarine, even though the Beatles, it's really the Beatles, in Magical Mystery Tour. Yellow Submarine is a better experience, I think. The two Utes. Did you say Ute? What is a Ute? Excuse me, Your Honor. The two youths. I think they meant having a plaque in George's house. Okay. Mikey puts a lot of faith in eBay sellers since he doesn't open it for years and counterfeits are so prevalent. Yeah, it's funny. Mikey Arugula, he opens up a Beatles box and it's a fake. Poor guy. Shadow of a Doubt was Hitchcock's personal favorite of his own films. I didn't know that. Thank you for that information. I hope the Beatle films don't do the same time span. They should do one film, 57 to 62, second film, 62 to 65, focus on one Beatle for each time period. That's what I hope they do, if they're going to do that. I don't know why they feel they have to have a Beatle narrate the film or one of the Beatles present each film. You could just make 4 films if you want, 4 chronological chapters, parts 1 to 4, but you don't need the Beatle to narrate it. Oh, thank you, Amy, again, coming through. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated. Thank you. Do you have any feelings about Paul disowning his father's second wife, Angie, and daughter, Ruth McCartney, after Jim's passing? I got to be honest with you. I wish I could say if I did or didn't, but I really don't even know about this. Paul disowned his father's second wife, Angie, and daughter, Ruth. I never gave that a thought. I'm sorry, No, it's kind of news in a way. I didn't really know that or pay much mind. So I wish I could give you a better answer. That's my feelings. Sorry about that. Have you ever acted in a play or performed in public? I'm doing it right now. Doing it right now. No, but a play, a school play. I was in a school play. There you go. Blue plaques are placed on UK homes of notable people who have been deceased for 25 years. What's for dinner today? I was just thinking about that. We have leftover chicken or leftover hamburger meat. You know what I mean? She makes hamburgers, but they're kind of round. So I think that's what we're gonna have. I'm probably gonna have chicken tonight. Any new CD? He created the title, by the way. Walkman 1967 is responsible for that title. CD videos coming up. I have some CDs that I don't think I've shown yet. I might have a stack of like I don't know. I have to look back. Sometimes I actually have to watch my own last video back to see if I've shown the items yet or not. I read that Rear Window was Hitchcock's favorite movie. By the way, I also like Frenzy, Hitchcock movie, Frenzy. What Ringo Starr movies have you seen? Magic Christian, yes. It was, I did a review of that. You can look it up. Candy, I've never seen Candy. Son of Dracula, saw it once on a very bad videotape, but it was too messed up to really make a call on it. Caveman, I like Caveman, and Blind Man is interesting. So I would say Caveman is definitely the best Ringo movie, I think. Blind Man is also interesting, and Magic Christian was so-so. What other movies are there? Also, That'll Be the Day. I saw That'll Be the Day. That's Ringo's best. That'll Be the Day. And if I can only pick two films for Ringo, That'll Be the Day and Caveman. George had been dead for 20 years in a few months. I was discussing with people who run the Magical Mystery Tour. Oh, absolutely. I would tell Paul, hey, Paul, if you want, I'll bring you some meat. I mean, I ain't going to do that. If I ever met Paul or Paul ever came to my place, I'm not going to do what Billy Joel did. Billy Joel knew Paul was coming over to his house. Billy Joel said he hid all the meat. He got all the meat out of the house and hid it in the drawers and stuff so Paul wouldn't see the meat. Yeah, George passed in 2001. I don't know what we're talking about. I'm not paying too much attention to that. All right, whatever. Do you listen to Press to Play much? Press to Play, I don't dislike it as much as I did when it first came out, but still, I'm not that wild about it. I don't play it much.
Now, this album, I just can't take it.
Everybody gets all upset with that clip. I'm going to tell you, look, remember, I did that just for fun. I gave that particular video. That particular copy that I had was a defect. The first track skipped and couldn't stop skipping, so it was garbage anyway. And I had a better copy of it. That was a lousy copy. So calm down. Is there a Wings song that you like that is always left off the best of compilations? Well, that would take some time to think of. Beware My Love would be one. Is Beware My Love on the new Wings compilation that just came out? We forget now. Beware My Love is one that comes to mind right away. Old Siam Sir I like quite a bit. There are a couple. They got me thinking now. Okay, I've noticed that musicians that sometimes do acting are really good actors. Dwight Yoakam, Lady Gaga, Beatles, etc. Some are. I enjoyed Press to Play when it first came out, believe it or not. I think if they ever do I don't want to use the word archive anymore, although I still have faith that the archives will still continue, at least with the last two Wings albums, London Town and Back to the Egg. But if they ever do a deluxe version of Press to Play, there are songs on there and versions of the songs that could be improved, I think. I think the song Yvonne is really good, I think, from what I remember, when I heard it. Yeah. And I love this song, Woman Oh Why. There you go. I love that. Anyone who gets mad at that clip needs to go watch the Digital Downloads trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I wish people would watch that. If you want to have fun, search around on my channel for digital something. I don't know what I call it. I think it's Digital Downloads Phase 1, Digital Downloads Phase 2, Digital Downloads Phase 3. Watch them. I think that the three of them. And also put Mayo in the title. Search digital downloads phase 1, Mayo, and then the 3 of them. Favorite crunchy snack right now, we're looking at onions. Because right now, again, I'm trying to stay on the wagon and I'm not eating junk. So right now, the most crunch I get for my buck is when I put chop onions in my tuna fish, like I did this morning. This morning I made a bowl of tuna fish, and I had a big onion, man. I had so much onion chopped up in that tuna fish salad that it was like mostly onion salad, a little tuna. If you had to remove one song from the White Album, which would you choose, and not Revolution 9? Well, I also want to be fair and say, let's say not Revolution 9. Let's say not Why Don't We Do It in the Road, and let's say it can't be Wild Honey Pie. It's easy for me. Regular honey pie. Honey pie, you are driving me crazy. Or making me crazy. I'm in love, but I'm lazy. So won't you please come home? That's the song I would get off there. Why is Paul's Girl School so overlooked? It's one of my favorites. It's a great rocker, Elliot. Oh, it's a great rocker. As a book, if you read them, which did you enjoy more, The Exorcist or Jaws? The Exorcist is I've read them both. The Exorcist is a much better book, in my opinion. Jaws is a better movie. The book of The Exorcist is probably better than the movie. The book of Jaws is not as good as the movie. Flowers in the Dirt was a return to form. Well, that's what I always say. I never loved that album, but it was a return to form. I agree with you. Did you and Anthony ever go back to that store that was super unorganized? The one with the old Ringo mag with the peace sign. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay, Amy again. Wow, incredible. Amy, you're so generous. I thank you so much. I appreciate it. Give Joe a few pennies, folks. If he says, hey, let me see if I have that thing there. Wait a minute. There we go. Geez, there, meathead, huh? Come on there, little girl. What are you talking about there, dingbat, huh? There you go. Archie Bunker. There you go. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. I always appreciate anybody who's generous, and I appreciate it, but there's so many people that could help out a little bit now and then. I always say, it sounds like an old cliche. It is never required, as you know, but it's always appreciated because it does take money to run this. I use StreamYard, and StreamYard is, it costs money every month to do. Regular honey pie is great. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate very much when Paul's able to do it. Does a great job of being able to capture that old 1920s or 30s type sound. But it just, but it's not, something's got to go on the album. So there you go. I had tuna today. Delicious. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't really get this question. We never went back to that store with the old Ringo mag. I still got that here. I don't think did I ever show that? I still got it. I got the magazine up there on the shelf. But we never went back there. No, very disorganized. Horror's been doing well, but I'm sick of all the possession. Oh, absolutely. Exorcist ripoffs. There's a new one every year. I'll never be as good as Freakin'. Look, they have a new one. They're doing a new Exorcist movie with Scarlett Johansson. No way, man. I got sucked in to see an Exorcist Believer, and I said I'd never do it again. But in all fairness, again, if I'm not going to see the Exorcist film with Scarlett Johansson, but if people see it and they tell me this is great, this is as good as the original, this is a classic to come, future classic, I'll see it. But I got burned too many times on the. I'm done. If there's one thing I'm done with in the horror genre, it's exorcism films, really. In my opinion, She's Leaving Home is the weakest song on Sgt. Pepper. That's tough. I love that. So it's the saddest song the Beatles ever did, and it brings me to tears a lot. But I'm trying to think what the weakest song for me is on it. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't want to say because I don't want to. Maybe being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. They were all great. They were all great. Hello, greetings in Germany. Hello. Do you think we'll get a Walls and Bridges rock and roll CD box set this year? Fingers crossed. I can definitely tell you, as having contact with the Lennon's estate, that no, they're not going to be doing Walls and Bridges this year. Walls and Bridges is going to be on tap for 2027. So we're going to get Walls and Bridges in 2027, not 26. In 26, what we're going to get from the Lennons are going to be the 2 concerts that John and Yoko did, the 1-to-1 concerts, the afternoon show and the evening show. That's on schedule for this year. So that's what we're going to. As far as rock and roll, I don't think we're going to get the rock and roll box for the year after that. Maybe 28 or something. Hello, Neil. Hello, Great Britain. I've read both Jaws and Exorcist. The Jaws movie improved on the book. That's what I think. The documentary, The Complete Beatles, is overlooked. VHS and Laserdisc. You know, I'm one of the only people that think that The Complete Beatles was great in 1982. I don't think it's that great anymore. You know, I know people love it. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Ramoga thinks that I do the best Archie. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's salute Ramoga for that. Okay. Thank you for that. That's nice. Oh, look at this. Before you're done, could we have a Godzilla, especially for Ramoga? I just did it without even reading that. Great string arrangement on She's Leaving Home. Yep. Yeah, classic horror is where it's at. I always prefer the old stuff, definitely. My Laserdiscs ended up in the dumpster. I never really got into Laserdiscs. Ringo Starr will be on the next Rolling Stones album. Yeah, I heard that. I don't know how he could play as good as fast and stuff as Charlie Watts type music. I know Charlie Watts is dead, but I think the song "Off the Ground" is a good song. So do I. I think it's a good pop song. I didn't like Run Devil Run when it came out, Paul's first release after Linda's death, but I enjoy it now. Yeah, I like Run Devil Run. I think Run Devil Run is a distinct improvement over the Russian rock and roll album, personally. Has the Rolling Stones' next album been announced? Looking forward to it. It's absolutely awesome that they're still making bangers 60 plus years. I have to say, you know, I loved the last album, Hackney Diamonds. To me, it's one of the greatest things they ever did. It's a great album, great production. I thought it would be a great way for them to go out on top. If they put another album out, it's going to be hard to imagine that they can repeat that success. Ooh, man, this is going on long. I'm going to have to end it soon, folks. 2027, okay, thank you for the info. And the 1980 CD box, later than 27, what's the 1980 CD box? You're talking about like Double Fantasy and stuff? If so, there's nothing being said about that. If we don't get a London Town Archive box in 27, then we probably won't see it till 37. And coming in 2039, back to the egg. It doesn't, you know, they don't have to be anniversary sets anymore. That's something they should stop with. It's always got to be on the anniversary, you know. Dig a Pony should have been called All I Want Is You. I can understand your feeling with that. Not only The Exorcist Believer, but I heard the Pacino one was garbage as well. I saw that. It was called The Ritual. It wasn't very good, but I liked it better than Exorcist Believer if I had to pick one, believe it or not. And the fact that Pacino was in it elevated it to at least 2 stars out of 4, or at least, or 1.5. I did a review of it. I don't know if you saw it on my movie channel, The Ritual. Check it out. Fixing a Hole is probably the weakest on Pepper. I don't agree. The best are Day in the Life, Lucy the Sky with Diamonds, and Getting Better. In the 90s, I used to read novels on my commute. People, including me, don't do that anymore. I know, it's over. It's over. Cherry Carter, what's up? That reminded me, Joe. We watched Kong versus Godzilla, American dub. Loved it. Brilliant. Oh, great. Great. I grew up with it. It's a kiddie movie, and I grew up with it. It's so much freaking fun. King Kong versus Godzilla, 1963. You know. How did you film me jumping up and down? Yeah, exactly. A TV station here has been showing All in the Family. I hope you watch every episode and enjoy it. Okay, there you go. I got to start winding this up, folks. We're getting near the 2-hour mark. I've just ordered the John Lennon box of Vision for $130. I'm really excited. I'll include Yoko CDs as well. Okay, I know what you mean with that set. I remember seeing the Adam 8 commercial for John Lennon's Roots album while my late brother and I were watching the Addams Family reruns. Okay, I got you. Yeah, there's no word about Milk and Honey and Double Fantasy yet. They captured the old Stones magic with Hackney Diamonds. The single Angry sounds like it could have been from 1980. I agree, Henry. Fixing a Hole is the best song on Sgt. Pepper, actually. Okay, I'm going to start winding down, so I want to thank everybody for being here. This was really an exceptional edition, not just because of Amy. Thank you so much, Amy, for your kind help here and contribution. But the questions were great. They kept coming and coming. I couldn't even get it. My tea is still here, half full. I appreciate everybody. Folks, all I could say again is please, I want to ask you to subscribe to my other channels, one of them being Mr. Cinemayo. And I know you've seen this so many times, you're sick of it, but nevertheless, for those who are just here now, please subscribe for movies, TV, nostalgia stuff, all kinds of stuff, comic books, autographs. I do all kinds of stuff there. And also, I'm not sure exactly the future. I thought I was going to do away with this channel, Mayo Loves Mondays. But I'm thinking for the time being, I'm going to keep it and try to work at it a little more. A lot of that will depend on if I can get more subs and try to hit that 1,000 mark. Mayo Loves Mondays has rant videos where I complain about the kind of things that annoy the shit out of us in the world today. Retirement thoughts, diet and wellness. Even if you're young, listen to an old guy complain if you want, or talk about getting older. Plan your own retirement in like 30 years if you don't want to. But whatever it is, I thank you all. Much appreciated. And this is my pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, I thought, but you got to remember, like I say, I always change my tune. I always say, this is how I feel today. This is how I feel right now. So I no longer feel good mornings the week is probably being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. Exorcist 3 is a great film, great horror film. I love it. Last thoughts here. Thank you all. Thank you. Stay warm. Okay, everybody, over and out.